So when I asked her to throw her jabs at me, in like, I don't know what I was thinking. I was like, oh no, I'll be able to block. Oh, absolutely not. So what made Survivor Series so important but impactful was my opponent at the time, Becky Lynch, was like super red hot. And Ronda was the baddest woman on the planet. Like that's what we had labeled her as. And a week before Survivor Series, Becky had her face bashed in and was supposed to be wrestling Ronda at Survivor Series. And my boss was like, well, Ronda can't wrestle. We need the next best thing. Meaning like we had a promoted match. Becky can't wrestle her. Well, who are we gonna have wrestle her? Like it has to be just as good, if not better. So I was like, I have to wrestle Ronda. But the reason like you see me being like, I have to wrestle Ronda is because for almost a year, the rumor on the street was Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey for WrestleMania. So if I was going in to wrestle her at Survivor Series on a one-on-one,
are we not getting WrestleMania?
We're not getting the WrestleMania match.
I mean,
so I was like, oh my God, 1, this match isn't promoted. 2, they wanted to see Becky versus Ronda. 3, well, what's my future? And I got to LA a week early and just thought to myself, like, whatever goes down that night, people have to want to see Charlotte Flair versus Ronda again.
Yeah.
Or what's going to make it that memorable? Plus, like, at that time, Becky was hot, but Ronda was untouchable.
She was
like untouchable.
That's why I think this is such a, when we get into the match, this is such a huge match because she was the biggest thing for UFC. And then she blew up UFC in the women's department and then she got knocked out or whatever. And then she came to WWE.
We would have not main evented WrestleMania had it not been for Ronda, hands down. Like when she wanted to kind of join what we had already started to build, but her star power, her credibility, her outside influence, the audience that she brought, like kudos to her, man. I know that, you know, someone said in her book that, you know, she couldn't wrestle, but at the end of the day, it really didn't matter. She was Ronda and she didn't need to. She had such like an aura to her and really did figure it out and, you know, brought that much to the table. So like, I thank her for what she did for us.
Yeah.
Because like, she didn't have to come wrestle. Like she'd already done it all.
Yeah.
And it was real. So she just added that legitimacy to what we were trying to do that we didn't have. And she caught on. Like this Survivor Series match, I don't think, because it wasn't, you know, part of that overall big picture at the end of Mania and the 2 belts being won. But like, dude, I just thought she picked it up so fast without having like any wrestling background or school. Like she just knew how to react.
Well,
and if you watch it, she had like so much star power.
Yeah. And when you watch the match, it looked different.
Well, yeah, because we were beating the shit out of each other.
Not even that, but
no,
like,
but and she
was using all the UFC armbar shit.
Oh yeah, and that was over.
And incorporating it like that never really been seen to me at least.
Well, it
like
had been seen, but not believable.
Not believable.
Not believable. And that is what's most important in our business. You can do all these moves. You can do all, I mean, sure, I know how to do a submission, but do I know how to break your arm? No, but she does.
Yeah.
That's what made her special. And that's what made that match so impactful is because you were like, well, is Ronda going to break her arm? I don't like,
yeah.
That
now,
just made all the difference.
What's her biggest strength?
What is hers? That she's been in a fight before.
She's been in a fight before.
Yeah.
She said that. Jack, break down Ronda a little for us.
Yeah, Ronda, so we talked about it, coming in from the UFC, dubbed the baddest woman on the planet, a.k.a. Rowdy Ronda. Kind of had that Roddy Piper persona.
And then
going
we
on.
had Flairs. This was like a legacy start fight, too.
I was going to say, I like what it harkens back to. She debuted in January at the Royal Rumble with Alexis Bliss, Charlotte, Asuka. I always mispronounce that. Signed the WWE contract in February, won the Women's Raw Championship, and like Charlotte was saying, just shot up the ranks. And
she was untouchable at that point.
Insane.
Like, was only having like 3-minute matches besides the tag match that she debuted on Mania alongside Kurt Angle versus Steph McMahon and Triple H.
Is there ever kind of a moment, you as someone who's been doing this for a career, that when someone kind of comes in and just skyrockets, there's a little bit of like not resentment, but a little bit of just like, oh, I wish I could have that, or is it just good for the whole picture?
Being naturally competitive, yes, because I'm like, I want it all. I want all the stuff.
Yeah.
But in order to grow, you have to have someone here. So for me, when I was across the ring from Ronda, or when I look back and look at Survivor Series big picture, Ronda, I felt like was the only one at that time that could really do this with my character, or do this like with me as a superstar, because I didn't think she was as good of a wrestler as me, but it is so much more than that. And she had that aura, that star power. So I felt like as much as, well, yeah, like you need competition to grow or to get better. And I thought she did that for me that night. As much as I helped her through the match and talked to her and knew her strengths and weaknesses and watched all of her matches prior to that, going, okay, I know she does this well. I know she does this well. She doesn't do this well, but she knows her submission. So if we get lost, she can do this. Like, I really thought out every part of that match to make us both look amazing. But she was also doing this for me that night too, which is why I main evented
Iron sharpens
Mania.
iron.
Iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
Now, take us through that. Do you scout your opponents? Are you
I
doing
really
that a
did
lot?
her because she didn't
She
have
was
that.
new.
She was new. I did her.
So like
Yeah.
this is and it was such a big match
It was a big match,
where you
and
wanted to make it look good.
Well, no, but I was like,
And you also wanted to
I have
protect
to be in the
yourself.
main event of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Like, if this match doesn't go well and it's a dud and no one gives it, like, no one cares, this was what I was meant to do. I kept saying, I'm going to main event Mania. I'm going to main event Mania. And then, like, what? Because someone gets hurt, I have to be the replacement? Like, no one's taking my spot.
Yeah.
And that's what I kept thinking.
How much is the pressure to kind of push your storyline on you, or coming more like top down?
Well, the aftermath of what happened with the kendo stick and beating her up and beating up the referees, it was so chaotic, so unhinged, so believable. But how could they not continue that?
Right.
Like, I don't think anyone had seen two women up until that point. I mean, she took a beating.
Yeah.
Now,
Like,
that was coming from you, or is that like, or you took it to an extra
I
level?
didn't get
or
to be like, hey, I would like to beat up the whole referee staff, even though I think the fans think I have that power.
I believed it.
I mean, I'll take it. But no, they needed to put steam behind it. But like, that was on me to create the moments and the visuals and what I saw Charlotte feeling like during that moment. Like, Ronda Rousey's gonna beat me? No, I think I'm the baddest woman on the planet. Like, even in the beginning, there was such an intensity that I had to build myself up to make, because in my mind, I'm thinking Charlotte believes that she's more superior than Ronda Rousey, even though Ronda Rousey comes from this, well, she has an Olympic medal, right?
Yeah, judo.
In judo. So like, I'm thinking, oh, I can be an Olympic judo person too, or Olympian.
So you had this opportunity, but you brought the execution, you brought the intensity,
I
you
had
brought
the
the performance.
opportunity, but I brought the execution, the intensity, the momentum. I know how to feel the crowd. I mean, they were chanting, "We want Becky to thank you, Charlotte," by the end of it.
Wow. Talk about a turn in the crowd, man. Having the palm of your hand.
Hell yeah.
But that's credit to Ronda too.
For sure.
I'm not saying like, it's both of us.
No.
Both characters.
it takes two to tango.
Takes two to tango.
It
Well
takes
said,
two.
brother.
Now let's jump into Charlotte Flair.
Oh, yeah. Let's go, baby. Build from the Queen
Okay,
City,
so
baby.
how about this
Charlotte.
match right here? They were they did not want this match, and by the end of it, they were chanting, "This is awesome."
Hell yeah.
Love the chance.
And I flipped. Sorry, I saw that and I was like, "Oh yeah, I had to flip off the fans that night. They weren't paying it."
Oh, this is awesome.
I
Shane. Doesn't
sound
get much better
really.
than that.
Yeah, they were just chanting the wrong thing. So I flipped them off, and then they were chanting, "This is awesome," and I was like, "You're welcome."
It's gotta
Hey,
be nice to get that
that's a
direct
show.
feedback from the audience.
Take them on a roller coaster.
How much time before the actual match happens and finding out, and how does it go to develop, the storylines and some of the, the craft of it all?
So I went to LA early to meet with Ronda. because up until that point, everything that she had done was very hands-on, and the producers always worked with her on her matches. So I went there with a game plan, with the match. I didn't know about the aftermath, meaning like the referees, the beatdown, the DQ. Because even in my mind, I was like, even if I lose, I'm still only losing to the baddest woman on the planet. Like, it's not the end of my career, but if people had already seen that match, you can't build that to WrestleMania unless it just left you like, oh, I've got to want more. I've got to see more. But each match is different. Each opponent is different. Like Becky and I, if you put us in a room, we could put a match together in 30 minutes and it'd be a WrestleMania worthy match.
Yeah.
Like we just have that kind of
Chemistry,
rapport, the story. We think alike with how we view matches, and that makes it easier.
At this point in Ronda's career, she probably didn't have that creativity yet.
Oh, that's a good point.
You know what I
No.
mean? For you, like, that's why you probably went early, because you were putting the brain power into it.
I went early because I wanted to put my hands on her. Like
Yeah.
I wanted to see how she moved. And again, when you have an opponent that new, you want to work to their strengths.
Yeah.
So even the beginning of that match, like I would not naturally like throw a high kick or look like I'm throwing a punch. Like I don't grapple like that, but I knew like that's what would translate to her.
Yeah.
So like in wrestling, you lock up, but in her sport, you don't. So I was like, okay, how can I make this more her style, but still make it a professional wrestling match?
Yeah.
And
That's what it felt like
That's-
when you watched it. I was like, this looks like you don't, I kept on saying, you don't see a lot of this before this.
but if you really break down that match besides the aftermatch, it's pretty basic. It wasn't like,
Maybe because, like you
like,
said,
in the
I believe more of Ronda doing all these arm things.
yeah,
and
you
this.
don't believe her like phony wrestling.
Yeah.
And that's what I wanted to bring to the table. Okay, like even if I lose an arm tonight, like it's gonna be worth it.
Hey,
'Cause
anything
I'm
for the
making
shot.
it
It
to
felt like there were a
like-
couple times that was gonna happen.
All I just kept saying, like, okay, this was a really fun, little funny story. I was like, well, she can't be that fast. Wait. So when I asked her to throw her jabs at me, in like, I don't know what I was thinking. I was like, oh no, I'll be able to block. Oh, absolutely not. Oh my God.
Some of those
I
look
just
so
go,
real.
breathe in, suck in, cover, and just take it. Like, I don't know what I was thinking, but she didn't really like, she was holding back. But in practice, I was like, hey, just give me one of those, whatever you do. Oh no, I was like, oh, this is why she's an Olympian and I'm a pro wrestler.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, like I knew what she could do, but it was just incredible to see her in action. Don't breathe.
Is it common to do like, I don't know if you call them rehearsals or sparring matches ahead of time of a big match, or just because it was Ronda Rousey, she's a little bit more
Well, I
inexperienced?
just wanted to see how I would react. I almost said the word sell.
Yeah.
I wanted to see how I would react to that
Sure.
because you don't see
Sure, yeah.
many girls.
With the movement.
Yeah,
Because it's so different from what you're used to, getting
So-
some reps in.
so different. Like I've never thrown a high kick in my life. Like I was just so, like, but I felt like I really went into that match going, no, like she might call herself the baddest woman on the planet, but like I am the baddest woman in professional wrestling and no one's telling me otherwise.
That's right.
And I have to bring that to that.